Hello, everyone. This is Sky, and today I'm going to be giving commentary on my 48-54 that I achieved June 9th with Floyd in Streets of Rage. So, just gonna give a little insight on the strategies I've used and, important points in the run, both in general and in this run specifically as it pertains to me as a player. And we're gonna jump right into it. I think this is right before I reset because when you're playing this game, especially on the normal difficulty, sometimes the AI is just, you know, it just doesn't like you, and you'll have a Gaussian just walk back and just go, nah, I don't think I'm going to comply, and so that's what happens. So, um, I start the timer the second I notice the music changes. I do those. I don't even know what to call those. Basically, special jumps. Floyd moves fastest like that. On Gaussias and people with around his level of health, you can hit any air attack and then stomp them, which is like seamless, and it kills them. So you're able to move forward. So you're able to move forward and kill them. So that's really useful in places where killing one of those guys will allow you to move forward. And so I keep that in mind for pretty much any enemy I'm fighting, especially if it's the last enemy to kill before the screen moves, because I want to already be moving. That saves some seconds over the course of the run. So I don't really uh, commit to doing this, but it is optimal when you're killing the last person to be on the right side of the screen. And so I paused it, and let me rewind. I paused it because this is a strat I devised myself that we clear this room out basically as fast as possible. So I'm stomping over here. I kill that Gaussian with that super jump combo. I grab his knife, throw it at the one on the left side. You'll notice I never actually go to the left side of the screen in this section. So I throw the knife, which kills them instantly. I go up here. I make sure I do a physical combo, just only to regain some life because the strats I employ uses a lot of green life because I'm using a lot of specials like throws, defensive specials, and movement. Floyd uses a lot of that like all the time. So I do a simple jab combo on this Galcia just to get some life back because I think it's actually faster to kill him with like a thunder spear. And so I go down, kill him by throwing him two knives on the white signal. One, one, two, three, two, bam. And so I hit the green signal. I throw him to the left because there's a second G signal that spawns in on the left side, and then I want to be ready for him, which is why I go to the left side at first. Normally, these guys should pretty much already be dead, and I take care of the two Donovans. I want the G signal to agree with that, and it took him a minute, so it was alright. I throw the BT into the Donovans. Normally, I can get them all in one spot and can kill them a lot smoother than that. This, I grab, jump throw attack, special. I do that on the first two guys. He was supposed to go into the wall to kill him, and then I come down here. I don't necessarily have a strat for this part. I just kill the enemies as fast as I possibly can, given, whatever might be going on. Sometimes I might ignore them and walk all the way down. Sometimes I go for what would be the turkey. Sometimes I don't. Generally, I just try to just clear this section out as fast as possible, and I think I've gotten good enough at it that I can wing it, which is pretty much what you see me doing. It's definitely possible to do this section faster because I've done it faster, but it's no big deal. Two Thunder Spears to clear these guys out. Simple jab combo because the Donovan reliably walks into it, so you can kill those guys real quick. I super jump through these guys. If I kill them, that's actually optimal because the second Donovan and G signal will spawn early, and I can clear this section out much faster. So that was just some improvising right there. And then Babo comes down. Babo I treat basically like a boss. I do boss strats, which I throw him. I wait for him to land, and then I do the charge attack. That stacks damage way higher than if you would like do the flurry into the throw. So we clear him out. As you see in my splits, I'm like 4 seconds behind my average actually. So again, it's possible to do that faster. I take care of the Dylans. I think I get hit by the lightning right here because I did something different. Normally I jab combo the first Dylan, but I didn't do that, so that kind of just threw me off of my pattern. I always wait until I see that lightning before I grab that star. And this is a new strat where I run to the right side of the screen because they're all basically going to be coming after me. And I think it's generally faster that I let them do that and then just let them all line up and just kill them. The second those two Dylans and Donovan show up, I super. And that clears them out instantly. So I super jump, I grab the turkey because I'm low on life. And, you know, this is a Titan truth. I think it might be faster to jump through here, even though he just bumped his head on the ceiling. But it just looks silly. So you throw one Gaussian into the other, you move on to the boss. And so Diva is one of the major reset points for me specifically because I mess up the combo. And if I mess up the combo, I grab a safety star just in case. Because if I mess this up, I can do a super and continue the combo, which I think actually happens right here. It's possible for me to mess up even after using the star, in which case that's pretty much a reset. I don't want to finish this stage any later than like a 4:30, especially if I was going for like sub 50. So ideally I can get a sub 4-minute time, but since that was slower than usual, I think it's like a 4:01 or a 4:03 or something. I don't remember which one. 4:03. And so that's okay. I can accept that. I've actually have to teach myself to be patient with my first level splits because I've gold splitted on all 3 of those sections way too many times. I actually have the IL world record for level 1 normal. So for level 2, I like to throw these guys to the right side of the screen. Normally, they all line up, and so they're all dead by the time I throw the Donovan over there. It didn't work out that way. A jump attack and either a jab combo or a basic flurry will kill those cops. Ferochios. I get those guys done and I go back to the cops. Sometimes they line up and I can just kill them without much work. I have to improvise a lot there. And so I throw the G signal into them and then I throw the Y signal into them. And by then they've all taken enough damage that a Thunder Spear can kill them all. So I go up here to Barney. And I'm not really trying to kill Barney. I just want to do enough damage to him that the Donovans and the BT and Gaussia come out of the jail cell. Because once I get them all over here, the strategy I want to do is get them all bunched together and super. Ideally, only one Dick will be alive around that time, and then he's easy pickings. So I throw those guys to the left because all the enemies spawn on the left besides those guys. So I get them all bunched up. Normally a couple Thunder Spears takes care of that, but alternatively, I can kill the BT closer to the right, so I'm closer to this guy. And so I break Murphy's shield. He dies real easy. Jab, jab, throw. You throw him again, jump, and then if he's still alive, that last air special will kill him. So I'm officially ahead of my average. I compare against my average because I'm too much of a perfectionist that if I'm always comparing against my PB, I'll just feel like crap and just reset all the time. So this is the way I do it. But I do know generally where I am in relation to my PB. I expected the Dick to actually be dead, and I was just kind of like, "What the hell's going on?" when that happened, which is why I just stood there. I wasn't managing my health correctly, and I died for it. Normally, I would have just jab comboed him if I knew that I didn't have the health to do like a Thunder Spear or like an air special, and I paid the price for it, and I do lose time in this section because of that. Also because, again, I kill everybody on the far left side, which loses time. I do a rather cheap combo on that Barney just to keep the screen scrolling because I know that I'm behind. And so, this strat, I throw air special, air attack again, and then I can throw him to the left because otherwise that BT will move behind the desk and it just costs time getting him back. I move back to the right to take care of these guys. I do an unoptimal combo on this Murphy. I could have killed him in a way better fashion. And so, as you see, I'm already losing time. I lost 4 seconds, basically, in that section. 3 of those seconds I lost dying, and that other 4th was just from suboptimal combat. So the Commissioner is something that I'm going to need a new strat for come the update. because this jab loop is gone, and the jab loop is actually the most consistent way to take care of the commissioner. The current boss strats are kind of touchy on him because backup constantly shows up throughout the fight, and that can compromise your combo. And if he does his super, then you have a Barney to worry about, and that just complicates things further. So it's possible to get like a throw loop on him. I say possible because, you know, it could happen. It's not impossible, but it's just so unlikely that it's inconsistent. So this is the strat for the sake of consistency. And so that takes care of the commissioner. I'm ahead of my average by 7 seconds. A sub 8-minute time after level 2 is really good. Getting an early 8-minute time is also really good. So I know I'm doing well. I'm probably behind on my PB, or my last PB, by like a few seconds, but that's okay. This stage is a personal weakness of mine because I don't really have a strat for this first section, and I've been struggling really hard to just do it as fast as possible. I gold split it on this section once, and for the life of me, I don't know how I do it. So terrible unplanned combat cost me another life there, which is more time lost. I think at this point I was just feeling really terrible because I just wasn't fighting correctly, as you can clearly see. I'm doing nonsensical attacks, I'm getting hit, and it's taking way too long. As you see, my split counter is already counting down. I'm just losing that much time because I don't have a strat for this, and it's frustrating. I've decided not to use the fire barrel for this section because I found that it's actually faster to just kill these guys the old-fashioned way, and I mess even that up. So level 3 is not my strongest point, but it's just that one section. I can do the other 2 sections and the boss pretty well, but that's just the one section I have a lot of problems on. So as you see, I lost all the time I gained from my average, and so you just get to work here. I learned that from Bard. You can AI manip to get like a quick kill on all those enemies. It's really cool. That BT was supposed to be dead, but he wasn't. It didn't matter though, because I took unnecessary damage. And this was just luck. They just lined up just right, so I was able to save some time here. I normally take the pipe, which is why the split is named Pipes McGee and the Boys. But turns out the pipe doesn't actually save a lot of time. Again, not paying attention to my health, so I died. I mistimed a forward special. I know how these guys spawn, so I know a Dylan and a Kevin, they spawn here. I stomp those guys down, and then just take care of them. I grab my turkey and I just meander myself in there. Bleeding time. So Nora is a really fun boss fight. I'm pretty sure Floyd kills her faster than any other character in the game because his super pushes her into the spike wall on the left side, and it stacks damage insanely fast. So the strat is get 3 stars, which is why we don't use any stars in the stage, and we throw her into the wall, some cybernovas, we do some charge attacks and some defensive specials to tack on a little bit more damage in between. It's possible to only use 2 stars and get a similar time, but it requires a unique setup, and the Gaussias can't really get in your way. So the 3rd star is really like a contingency. A sub 11-minute time is still awesome. I can get anywhere from like 10:45 to 11:01 or something. Like a super early 11 or sub 11 is good. So I know that I'm on sub 50 pace. I kind of have a strat for this section, for like this one section right here. I haven't really drilled it in yet, so that's why you see me flail around a little bit, but you see a lot of the strat come in right here, where I throw these gals in, they run into those guys, and I was expecting that diamond to die right there, which is why I was just unprepared. So here, really simple, defensive specials, you throw the guys into the pit, you start chucking guys down, and a couple more defensive specials, clears this area out nice and quick. Grab that, because I know I need the health. Go up here. There's a way to position yourself that the diamond runs right into it on the way up. so you can actually save like a little bit of time through here. And this is a strat I have for this section where I'm lined up in such a way that I can take care of every enemy as fast as possible. So I throw that knife at that diamond. That's important because another diamond comes down and I want them both to be down. It's important to throw her off the left side because if you don't, the screen will scroll and you might not be able to get the star. You have to throw that knife in a specific spot to hit the 2 Murphys. Cybernova to kill the Murphys, which just leaves the 2 Barneys with only 1 taser. So from here, the strat is just to stack up damage by throwing enemies into them. It's possible to kill all the Barneys like this. You can mess it up, but you know, just one of those things to be aware of. By the time you see the G signal in the Donovan, you know that all the enemies have spawned. So we kill them real quick, jump down. So I think in my last PB I died in that section. So I know that if I'm not ahead of my PB, I'm like close to it. Because that was actually a really good first section of this level. Here, there's kind of a strat. I just bunch them together and kill them as fast as possible. And that's pretty much what you see here. The next, like the boss fight of this level is a major reset point because the optimal combo involves throwing her, and to get the most damage, you want her to hit the ground. And she is, I think, one of the only bosses in the game that can actually get up after being thrown. So you have to be aware of that. So you kind of have to get lucky. If you do, this happens, and you can get a nice early throw loop, save tons of time. And so if you fail, like if she doesn't take getting knocked down enough times, but takes enough damage to summon her super, that's a reset. That's not sub 50, that's a reset. But luckily, that didn't happen. I've adjusted that strategy, and you see I compare myself to my PB, which I'm about 8 seconds ahead of my PB, my old PB. And the 1350 is amazing. Getting a sub 14 minute time after that for Floyd is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm normally expecting an early 14, so getting a sub 14 is just Christmas. I have a strat for this section, and I'm really proud of it. We take advantage of the slime and the pits by throwing some key enemies in there, and doing that, and with a little bit of luck, we can clear this area out like really efficiently. So like right there, they're already dead, and I can move on. For this section, I throw the Donovan into the ladies. I throw the poison, and I let them kill themselves while I take care of whoever spawns on the left side. You know, throwing a few more defensive specials for good measure, and only having an alt-10 alive is ideally what we want. But you know, BT always tends to surprise. I normally grab the turkey, but I felt like I didn't need it. And for this section, I go all the way to the right side and pretty much do as much damage as I can. Somewhere along the line, the Dylans and Kevins end up getting themselves killed, but I was too impatient and I died. So I lose time in this section too, which is a real bummer because I normally do this first section really well. This is like one of my best sections. But alas. So for this section, I make sure to throw that Francis in the pit because he's not worth bothering with. I wanted my tofu, so that was top priority. I grabbed this star and get out of the sludge. Now normally the ladies spawn from up here, but you have to move like a certain point in the screen for them to actually show up, and I guess I didn't hit that point, and so had to do a little work. I get hit, but I was facing left, so I flew to the right. So you know, nice save. For this, the combo you see me do is done to make sure that I don't get interrupted by the Big Ben. Everything else is more or less random. And it just turns out that it worked out well. I grab my tofu and get out of here because I know I'm bleeding time because I died. And parts of that section was suboptimal. So here these guys are all weak. And as you see, I do my jumping throw attack to keep myself moving forward, so I can kill enemies and move forward, and I'm on the right side. So for this section, I want to just bunch them all together, which is what you see me do. It's easier said than done because if you give them any amount of leeway, then they'll start bull charging you. And so you have to be aware of that. I grab her just to not worry about getting hit and kill her quickly. For this Altet, I just want to get him out of the way. I've been experimenting with this section, and I found that just getting the caramel in play as fast as possible works best. That was me being stupid, and I wanted to throw it, but I guess I just didn't input a direction. But when they're all bunched up on one side, you see, I like to use the super. And the sooner we kill the caramel, the sooner we can get on with this level. Which is why her being dead is the most important thing. I should have did air specials to chase her down, but I don't know. I thought I could catch her. I'm losing time here because of some mistakes that I made, like the one I just described. But I know it's not a big deal. Losing about 10-15 seconds in this stage, it sucks, but I know that there's time to save in later stages. So Barbin here, he's a very typical boss fight, so we take him down the same way. We have to be mindful of where the walls are in this stage, because I want to know where he's going so I can catch him. Which is pretty much what you see, and we do the little throw loop on him. He's not that strong, he stays in your arms for a really long time. That flurry was a misinput, and that was me improvising, because ideally you want to throw loop until they die, but I messed up my throw special, which turned into a defensive special, and so I just had to just wing it from there. 18, 15, and early 18 is ideal. Later 18 is also acceptable. I am ahead of my PB, which is what I was just checking. Or at the very least, I checked whatever my PB was. I don't remember if I was ahead or behind. But the strat writes itself. A little bit of lost frames from the stream. A sword kills Donovan instantly, which is why I use that. It kills Altet in 2 hits. And obviously it deletes Gausia. So we want the Raven to show up. We can kill Ravens really quickly. The Condors take a little bit more work, but they're also really simple. We grab that because that is an extremely strong weapon. And we can stack a lot of damage really easily without much worry. I know it definitely kills the Diamond instantly, even although I don't use it on Diamond, I don't think. Just want to stack up some damage. For some reason, the hitbox wasn't lined up, so I was not able to kill the Gorman the way I wanted to. But still pretty fast. You can line it up so that you can jump straight through, but it's kind of tight. We grab this because the Butcher Knife goes through enemies. It unfortunately misses the Big Ben. And we're stuck in a pretty tight situation after the defensive special our way out. But we make it work. Here there are 2 Gausias, a Raven and a Condor. Ideally you want the Gausia on the right to get in the way of that throw and kill him instantly. And then you can just come through here. So then there's 2 Dylans and a Kevin. I want to get rid of these guys as fast as possible, but as you see, I'm saving the Butcher Knife specifically for the next section. So I wanted the Raven to die there, but he didn't. So he had to go down a little slower. So I throw the Butcher Knife and I super, and that gets rid of most of these guys' health. So as you know, the Gorman's already dead, and now the Big Ben's dead. Now all I have to worry about is the Condor and the Raven. And so I do that knowing that Raven was probably going to jump at me, and that would have allowed me to keep my combo going, which works. Goro's a bit of a sticking point, but you can throw loop him, but you have to set it up a certain way, which is basically walk into him and throw on. And then you can throw loop him, and there's no actual wall over here, so he just falls onto nothing. So we gold split here, which is amazing, because first section of Chinatown is probably one of my weakest sections. So I'm really happy that I gold split it here. And then we're in the Hall of Gausias, and we are setting up for the boss fight. And so, as you see, we have this weapon, and it kills the Gausias in 1 hit. and 3 of them show up throughout the course of this one subsection. And so we know that we can use 2 of them freely. And so I know I can cancel right into my defense special if I need it. And I grab that 3rd one and I don't use it. I save that for the boss fight. This is the strat that I go for. I know that there are other strats for Floyd to fight the boss of this level. But this is the strat that I find saves the most time the most often. So again, the sword kills the Donovan in 1 hit, but you don't always have access to it. So this section actually is pretty tough for me because there's no like quick and easy way to clear out this room. So I have made my strategy just throwing weapons, waiting for the butcher knife and just throwing that. And I think I get hit here. Yep, I get here and then die. I wanted to grab him, but you know, there's little to no invuln on that. And now that I died, I know I have to help the spin. I just stomp them all down. Walk through this section. A fun fact for this section: if you kill the red guy before you kill the ravens, no condors will spawn. So I always try to do that, but obviously I couldn't. A raven died, so now the condors are here. So the pheasant's dead, and I just gotta take care of these guys. Again, they're no big deal. They just take a little bit more work than the ravens. Strangely enough, despite all that, I still end ahead of my average, which is cool. And so, this fight, Shiva. Shiva is annoying. You could jab loop Shiva, but I'm not good at jab looping. And Shiva is one of the bosses that has an invul attack if they feel like they're being like stun locked. So I'm not very good at it. So this is the strat that I go for. This stacks a lot of damage, and I even worked out some sort of AI manipulation to make sure that like I can always hit him whenever I can. Again, it's kind of random. That's why the split is called, yeah. So, because it just feels like no matter what I do, it doesn't really affect how fast the fight itself goes. It does feel really random. And my input doesn't feel like it has any actual like weight to it. Also, you can't kill him with just that. So now I have to jab loop him or super. So I super, and like by now I see the split like ticking down, and I just want him dead. So luckily he gets going, and I am still gaining time. So 2403 is okay. A low 24 is all right. I guess it's possible to get a sub 24, but I don't think I've ever gotten that good a segment. So the Skytrain's really annoying. It's short, but it's really, really annoying. So you gotta take care of these cops. These signs are gonna come darting through. If it takes you any more than 3 signs to kill these guys, you're doing it really slow. It's even possible to get these guys killed before the 3rd sign even shows up. And that's how you know you're doing this section fast. Again, I want them all bunched together. I wanted to get the G signal, but he did not agree. But I take care of him. After he throws me across. I thought one of them was still alive, so that's why I just wasted a Thunder Spear right there. I don't know how that happened, but I grabbed Francis twice. Once when he was already in the air, which was weird, but it killed him, so I'm okay with that. I know I was going to take damage there, but it was worth it to kill the Barney. And I didn't know what Francis's HP was at, so I didn't want to just defensive special and leave him alive on the left side. So I get grabbed by accident. I want to time a Thunder Spear there so they get hit by the sign and the Thunder Spear, which does like a ton of damage. But I failed that, as you see, twice. And so I'm more or less flailing at this point because I've only just recently learned a strat to do this section quickly, but I didn't do well, so I just wanted it over. So Estelle 2. Let me tell you about this boss. This boss has been a thorn in my side for chasing sub 50. It feels like she Tex throws a lot more often than she did in level 4. So at some point, the damage would just stack up to the point where she calls the commissioner, and then sub 50 would just be down the drain. I know I've had at least like 5 to 7 runs, most of which were on sub 50 pace, that was ruined by this boss fight. And so the way this fight actually works out was something of a miracle, actually, because it worked out literally exactly the same as in level 4. So when this happens, I also have to make sure that I just don't mess this up, because even with the safety star, this fight can go terribly wrong. And luckily I don't. This fight goes extremely smoothly, and I end this level on the best pace that I've ever been on. I failed that fight, I believe, the last time I tried to go for sub 50, and that was my 50-19. So 26-25, wonderful. A lower 26 is amazing. I have a strat for the art gallery too, especially this first section, but I was feeling nervous around this point, so it doesn't exactly work out the way I wanted it to. Like, I have a strat for this section. I deliberately walk her all the way to the end of the screen, because I know someone else is going to show up and die too. For her, I wanted to, like, not do exactly that. But, like, you get the gist of what I'm trying to do. I want to knock them back to make them drop their vial, and then they fall into their vial, which is what I do there. So that takes care of both of them that actually show up on that side. So I don't have to worry about them at all anymore. And I can kill the Donovan, the Lou, and the Altet without much worry at all. And we grab our turkey. So I am a believer in the turkey strats, which we use that on one of the 2 bosses in this level. Makes it a lot faster. So I want, again, to bunch them all on the right side, but there's 2 sitting here on the left, and so it just didn't work out. So I'm flailing again. Generally, so like at this point, I got them all on at least the one side, even if it's not the side I want to. So I let the super rip, and I rely on the poison to take care of these enemies. As it turns out, I probably didn't lose time dying there, because I definitely would have wanted to go and grab my chili cheese fries anyway, which would have probably cost more time. So I probably saved time by just taking a death there, because they were standing in poison. They were just gradually losing health anyway, which is awesome. So unfortunately, none of the grenades on the left end up killing anyone. So this section is done a little bit suboptimally. There's an off-screen grenade that kills those guys, but there's lots of stuff to throw around. So I throw those grenades, and I know that there's a good chance I can take care of enemies on the right side if I do that, which is why I stay on the left. So I didn't trust my ability to catch any one of those, so I just took the damage. And luckily the fire vial took care of her. So I grabbed my turkey. You do a back attack here, because that's the fastest way to do it. You cannot do any air attacks that like aren't specials with the turkey in your hand, because you will throw it. And I learned that the hard way. Like, you can't even drop it while you're in the air, because you will throw it. I wanted to pick up that grenade, but I misjudged the distance required. So I'm losing time here. I've actually been getting better and better at this art gallery, but today wasn't one of those days. But that's okay, because this fight made this the God run. This fight made me sweat with nerves, because I knew that I had sub 50 by a huge margin. So we throw the turkey, and we get a jab loop on both twins at the same time. And this is why I got nervous. So we don't have to worry about them doing the little freeze frame. Well, except there. But even then, she shows me mercy by not doing her freaking AoE attack. So I was able to delete her in short order. I gold split here by so much time. I am over a minute ahead of my average, and I am almost a minute ahead of my PB. And I check here too, 29.59. Getting a sub 31 was amazing, and I got a sub 30 after this stage. Insane. See right there, I'm almost a minute ahead of my PB. So I know, because like at this point my PB is my 50-19. And although of course, you know, my splits are in real time, I know in general I am saving about a minute and a half when I convert it to game time. So I know for a fact that I am on sub 50. Like, so I remember telling myself to pretend that boss fight didn't happen, just to keep my nerves down. Just pretend that I was grinding for sub 50 the way I always was, and that is not literally like this is literally not the run that can make that happen. Just to ease my nerves. So there's not really a strat for this room either. It is another just kill all the enemies as fast as I can. Like they spawn from both sides pretty consistently. I'm having fun with hitboxes. I aim for my tofu to keep my health up. I kill the Francis. I miss my tofu again. Like I'm nervous, and so I'm just running along. I keep the mop with me because it can actually take care of these guys really quickly. The left one didn't move, so I just started beating up on the right one just to get them out of the way. And now I officially have them all bunched up, but the Raven got in the way. I'm pretty liberal with the mop right here because I'm not going to need it after this section, because I have a reliable way to kill the enemies in the next section, to where the mop is unnecessary. And I don't need it for the elevator section either, because the name of the game will be throwing them off the elevator. So these guys show up and I just super. That takes care of the golds immediately. And the silver is just easy pickings right there. I don't grab my chili cheese fries because I don't think I need it. I want to save more time, so I'm doing riskier things. And so that gold spawns, I grab him, and now they're all bunched up. So I can just hit them all, break the glass, and now it's open. And then, you know, it's pretty easy to guess the rest of this section when you start throwing people off. Now, it doesn't always work that way, because things just happen. So like right here, normally you can neutral jump and invuln through that, and he'll be right in my hands. I could just throw him, but that didn't happen. So I lost a life. So here I know where she's gonna spawn. And then there's gonna be one more that comes down, but I get kneed off the cliff again. So this isn't the fastest that I've done it, but as you see, I know what to do. So I grab him, throw him. The next one falls into my arms, and I grab the last one. I take the little small timer piece to grab my fries, and save even more time. So now Max, my favorite character in Streets of Rage 2. I'm so upset that he's actually not playable in like Streets of Rage 4 form, even though they have animations for most of his key attacks, and I hope he's added as DLC. So the strat here is just to backhand him unless he's trying to throw you with your defensive special. I lose time here because I had to chase him around because of the RNG. I normally save my second star for after he powers up. I might have popped it off prematurely, but I wasn't thinking. I was just trying to get this fight over with to move on, basically. So he does that. That was completely unexpected, but I get it done. Again, I lose a little bit of time because I had to chase him around a little bit. He doesn't always do that, but sometimes he does. So 33:52. This is an amazing pace. This is an absolutely amazing pace. So stage 10, I have a strat here. I want to bunch them together, but I want to take care of the Kudins first because they have the most health. So they can be a problem, and you can't throw things at them. They'll catch whatever you throw at them. So these guys are like high priority kill now, like the Jonathans and whoever those other guys' names are. Joseph, I think, and Brash. Those guys aren't as high priority. So take care of the Gudins. Keep going. I lose time here, but that's only because my average is just really fast because I'm really good at that section. Here, normally I would catch the condor and throw them off the cliff. I opt for a different strat here, just to see what happens. I like to experiment on the fly, and I don't know. I think it worked out. Unfortunately, I wasn't on the right side of the screen during this transition, so I had to wing this section a little bit. I'm more prepared to do this when I'm doing it from the right side, but I did it from the left this time. It's basically the same strat, but I have to account for the distance. Normally, I would like to grab a grenade and I would throw it right where I see that window, and these guys will, like, most of those guys will, like, run right into it, and it's like a really nice quick kill. But I couldn't do that because there wasn't an available grenade for me to use. So here, I take care of the entry. I was supposed to do the grab special, but that didn't work out. This guy made me very angry because he rolled all the way to the left side, and that is a no-no. So I still saved time, but I could have saved more time. For this bowling ball section, I've devised a new strat to do it on the right side. For some reason, that just makes it faster. Like, I grab the sledgehammer, and I don't know, the section has been faster doing it on the right side than it has been the left. I know some people like to check the guys down the pit, but I'm a big fan of the wrecking ball. So I use that strat. These guys get themselves killed in pretty short order. It might actually be faster to just jump over there and just do it yourself. So for anyone trying to, like, match or beat this time, that's probably something to consider. So I take care of them. Here, I make sure to hit them and the wrecking ball, so it stacks up a lot of damage. So you do it again, they're dead. And now Baba shows up. I want to throw loop him, but for some reason, throw looping him right here is really hard. So that didn't work. And then the Guden and the Z shows up, and then I can't really do that anymore. So at this point, the strat relies on the wrecking ball to kill this. To kill this Kobo, I guess. So I take care of Graham and Jonathan, and I have one safety star. I could have two, but I only actually need one star for the DJ Kawashi fight. Two is like, I'm really not sure, and I'm really playing it safe. But I took one just to gold split on that last section, and I get in the position, I throw, wait for him to land, charge, and then just go into the throw loop. I do 3 or 4 reps of the throw loop, go on the grab special, super. It throws those guys back, and I have enough time to just kill them outright without being interrupted. And that's the Kawashi fight. That fight can also go wrong because the AI can just be on the signals, can betray you, and they might come after you early or late, which might screw up the entire strat. In that case, you want a safety star just in case. So, Yeats of Rage 2, you want to throw these guys off the cliff. Make sure they don't throw you off the cliff. I had bad luck with the Thunder Spear because it flew one guy to the left. And then I get backhanded here, trying to just walk into him and grab him. So I take a minute, grab my tofu. Here I chuck him into those two guys, by Francis and Brandon's. And here I don't really have a strat for this section. I kind of sort of have a general idea of what I want to do, but I haven't gotten it concrete yet. So I just know to just knock him off like that. So it actually works out in my favor, even though I kind of wing it by the time the ladies show up. I forget their names. I think it's like Margaret or something. Or is Margaret the grenade ones? I don't remember. I know... No, I don't. I don't know anything. But anyway, super. I do this super because they drop their lightning vials, which breaks the shields from these guys. So I can take care of them really, really quickly. And then, one guy remaining is not bad. Again, I make sure I kill him on the right side so I can just keep it pushing. I grab him, which incidentally breaks that shield. So I didn't plan it to work out this smoothly, but it's a good thing that it did. And so she walks into that, and so I combo that in. I stomp over here. You always want to get the bottom three barrels because that way they explode in two explosions, and sometimes they might explode in three if you aim it any higher, which sucks. It is a small nugget of time to lose, but it's still time lost. So I knock those guys out. I jump once and throw the grenade because these guys are right in place. So I throw Officer Sand into them. Normally they're all bunched up together, but that didn't work out. If there's a taser available, I throw it, and then I hop over. I was too slow, so I actually get hit here, but I improvised in a really great way. So I throw him over there, and then I throw that, so they're all over there, and the grenade's gonna destroy their shields. I deliberately throw iron into them because I know that they'll move out of range of it if I don't. So I gold split there too, which was awesome. It's because that first area went down really well. I jab loop these ladies because it's set up perfectly for that. I walk over the top first to grab the star. The star is more important. And then I loop back down to take care of these ladies. Sometimes I can set up a throw loop. Not always, though. And that iron can be anywhere he wants. And I have to go and get him. But it's not a big deal. Here I do two air specials, and I misposition myself. If I do it right, and I'm dead center, I can jab loop all three of them, and get through this section super fast. But I don't do that. But it's all about improvising. When you run this game on normal, it's all about improvising. And so, Mr. Y, he is another boss fight that can ruin this run. He flips, like, first off, he's hard to catch. It is entirely possible that this boss just has invuln on almost everything he does. Almost everything he does. And Floyd is a slow character. Like, you have movement tech, but he is slow. He is slow. You can only move fast in increments. So you can't really control the distance you travel. So he's just hard. Like, this guy flips around. This split is called Super Smash Brothers because it's like you're fighting that one scrub. You know, that one guy who does nothing but side dodge. And that's why the split is called that. And that is Mr. Y. And execution just gets in the way. I think there's something with the walls in this boss fight. I know the right side, there's no wall. He won't bounce off of anything on the right side. But I've been having problems doing throw loops on the right side. And to compensate for that, that's why you see me do throw loops predominantly on the left side. If you look throughout this run, I'm doing left side throw loops almost all the time. And that's why. And so some missed execution in this fight. Even though I have 2 safety stars, I can waste those just messing up more and more and more. And this fight has cost me a sub 50 as well. So at this point, I'm maximum nervous, and I have to quick kill Mr. Y. I have to throw loop him to death. Otherwise, I know that I'll lose it. So that's the kind of like stress that I'm under for this fight right here. So I do have a strat, so it's not that bad, but I just have to trust my execution and not mess up. So he shows up, he laughs, I move in the way so he shoots, and then I hit him. And then I grab him, I get into position, throw, heavy, grab, throw, heavy, grab. I make sure there's space, I play it safe, and then I just go into the throw loop. Which I am happy to report goes extremely well. I think I do mess up once, but I have a safety star. And that is a Mr. Y. I saved so much freaking time. A 41 is unprecedented. No Floyd player has gotten a 41 after level 11. Yet, except for me. So, I know the last record set by Pikachu, which was the 51 minute even run. Uh, his timer was at like 43, which is amazing. Still, like that's still an amazing time to be at after stage 11. So I was expecting a 43, a 42 if I was being like optimistic. So a 41, and what was that? That was a low 41, wasn't it? No, it was a high 41. But either way, unprecedented. So I know that I'm well within range. I have tons of wiggle room for a sub 50. And so here we are. Y Island. My splits are dorky. It's mostly puns and a Castlevania reference. But the strat here, I want to jump past these guys. I don't want to spend too much time fighting them until they're all on one side, which is why I just hop around. So Jonathan tries to get the drop on me, but once they're all on one side, I want to just jab loop them. So a little sloppy. Again, I'm racked with nerves. I take care of the Joseph, and I just start the throw loop. I want the Brash and the other Jonathan to just walk into the just walk into the magic basically, which they kind of sort of do. I use the knife strats here. There's a Candy all the way at the end. I throw 2 knives at her just to have her with lower health, and she moves closer to this area. Otherwise, she just waits for you. And I would like to fight them all more or less at once, because after they're all dead, there's one caramel that comes from the left side of the screen. And dealing with one caramel is way easier than dealing with a caramel and a Candy. So I killed the first caramel really quickly. The jumping ladies are also short work. I grabbed that, and then there's a star on the bottom motorcycle. So I bust that open, grab that. I do some air specials to close the distance, and I take care of this caramel. I do the old stretch because I'm not thinking. I mess up my side grab, which is why that happens. So again, I'm already paying for my mistakes. I'm losing time. I lost 9 seconds basically in that first section. I call this the 1-1 jail. Again, it's a Castlevania reference because you're in a castle. Come on. So I kill those guys. I killed those bronze insanely quickly. I have no idea why I haven't done it that fast before, but I definitely do. But that's not the important part. I almost always grab that health just because this section is just so brutal. I drop that chandelier because it kills those guys instantly. I make sure the martial artist, I don't know his name. I've never fought him to see the name under his health bar. But I make sure he's under it to make sure he dies. And so here I just kind of wing it. They all get conveniently lined up here. And so I'm able to just jab loop all of them until the signal gets in the way. But by the time they do, everyone's dead. And so that leaves the last Bobble of the game, which I want to be on the right side because he jumps to the right. So then I can use the chandelier, and that's like more than half of his health gone. And so then I have to just kill these guys. So the second Z grabs a weapon, I'm like nervous, which is why I like moved away and like kind of panicked. But I killed them. The most important part of this section right here was that I didn't die. I usually always die at least once on that section because it is brutal. The enemy AI in that section is extremely aggressive. No other enemy on normal mode is that aggressive. They move fast, they attack fast, they have so much health. And I usually die at least once. It's not uncommon for me to die twice in that section, including during the sub-boss fight with the Baba. So I did that whole section first off without taking too much damage. And I did it without dying. And I did it pretty quickly, actually. So I gold split here by a fat margin. So these guys. I don't like these guys. Because, again, Floyd is slow. That super was actually a slip of my hand. I did that by accident. I fat-fingered some buttons. And that happened. So, for the shadows, it is another, like, desperate, kill them as fast as possible fight. And, that's just the way it works out. Like, they're just fast and I'm slow, so I have to, like, I have to plan for their course. So I grabbed the chili cheese fries early because I know I'm at low health, and I super don't want to die in this section. Like every second counts, and I don't want to spaghetti away my sub 50 because I have been on sub 50 pace up to the last level and spaghettied it away because I just did it so terribly slowly. So the chili cheese fries were in vain because I died anyway. What's worse, again, I'm panicking, so I'm not playing correctly, and I'm losing time. I know I'm losing time because I died here, and I don't usually die in this section. It is already counting down. I get hit, and I've lost most of my health again. So I'm about to die again. A smarter player would have grabbed the turkey or fries or whatever, but I didn't. So the Miss Y fight. Easiest fight in the game. That's why the split is called that, because it is the easiest fight in the game, even without the throw loop. Insanely easy. I messed up the throw loop here, but it's not a big deal. Miss Y doesn't have enough HP to be a really big deal. So, I don't know. I just take the lumps here. That's another execution error. And then she supers. That's how easy it can happen. Imagine that happening, but it's versus any of the Estelles, or it's happening versus Diva, or it's happening versus Keiwashi. Like you mess up and like messing it up here, 6-second time loss, I guess, 7-second time loss or whatever. You mess it up in those other fights, we're talking upwards to 30 seconds to a minute lost. So I just take my lumps in that fight. It's not a big deal. I know losing time in that section, unless I mess it up just that much, isn't going to cost me sub 50. So here, we jab loop them both. It seems like Mr. Y has less health than Miss Y, so if they get hit by the exact same attacks, Mr. Y will always get inside the mech. Always. So that's what happens. I wanted to super just to tackle just a little bit more damage, but I misjudged how many hits it would take before the robot shows up. So I have a star that I normally use during the section where I die a lot that I didn't use because I just did it that well. And so I found that using the backhand gives you more DPS than the mace for Floyd specifically. And I like to spread out the damage between the robot and Miss Y, because the Phase 2 robot has an attack that wastes so much time. Like you're waiting like 5 to 7 seconds because an attack just happens, and it's a Phase 2 specific attack. So I make sure not to kill Miss Y yet. Like I stack on the damage, but I want to do damage on the robot now before it becomes way harder to hit, which is what you see me doing. And at some point, I just figure it's time to use the safety star and just close the run out. And so now, all I gotta do is just smash, it's just, get these attacks in. And then here is the aforementioned attack. Like, this attack wastes so much time, you can't get clean hits in, and you have to wait for them to be done. So, I wait, do my last hits, and we close it out. And again, I know that I can give myself at least a minute and a half of leeway. But I know it's more. So I know that I got sub 50. I was really happy about that. And I'm still happy about that. So I go through the credits just to let myself calm down, recollect my thoughts, which is why I go through the credits. And yeah, that's it. This is my 48-54. I was hoping to get a 49 something. So getting a 48, super duper awesome. Super duper awesome. I love it. I love it so much. And so there's that. I even got a rank A for some reason. And so as of now, June 9th, 2020, that is the Floyd normal world record. And it is also the fastest recorded time in Streets of Rage 4 with any Streets of Rage 4 character. The Adam time by the Mighty Bill, great player. Adam's a really fun character to watch. His time on normal is a 48:55. So I edged out someone else by 1 second, which is cool. Obviously, I think the Adam record can probably go lower. It's just not being ran, I guess, because most folks move to Mania, I guess. But it is what it is. 48.54 for Floyd. Uh, right now it's faster than Adam, which is cool because there was a bit of a debate about Adam just being just that much faster than everyone else. And here's a character that can hang with him. So if anyone's interested in running Floyd, especially before the patch hits, go for it. This is going to be my last speed run with Floyd on normal mode. I've grinded the category down to sub 50. That's where I wanted to leave it. I'm retiring from this category. I'll be running Cherry and maybe Axel after the patch, and that's where you'll be seeing me. Uh, I'm not gonna like try like aim for records or anything, just more PBs. That's usually always what I go for. I don't like this is probably the only run where it's like I want to get there. I already had the record at this point. I had a 50-18, I think, and but I wanted sub 50, which obviously would have been a new world record. So this was probably the only time I ever like explicitly wanted to get record. Normally, I just go for PBs. It keeps the pressure off. It keeps the expectations level. You know, and we'll see. So if you watch this, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comments. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to do any of that. Just take it easy, man. Take it easy.